Well, hello, everyone. I am Tamara, founder and CEO of the Skylane Company, career and consulting firm here in Atlanta, Georgia. And we are here for career conversations in the park. It's a nice, intimate conversation where I have with individuals from different backgrounds, different industries, just to find out what they're doing these days, how did they get there, where they're going to, and how you can get there too. And so today we have Toni Williams today. Hey Toni, how you doing?
Hey girl, I'm doing just good. I'm really doing good. How about yourself?
I am well. I am energized. It's the middle of the year. We finally made it to June. I can't believe we made it to
We
June.
did. Praise God.
Yes, I mean, this year is completely flown by, but I'm glad about it. But I'm excited about everything that is to come. And so let's dive right in. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your experience that you have.
Okay.
So let's go with your title first and your industry first, just therefore everyone can get a synopsis first.
I am in the medical coding. I'm a medical assistant and I wanted to, the whole blood and stuff was not. And I did a bit of all that and I'm now into medical coding and I do enjoy it. I really, really, really do enjoy the business side of the medical industry. It's really, really, it's fun for me. My background, as I said, I did all of the training and stuff like that. But I like the more laid back dealing with how things got where they are and how you can assist from the back end rather than the straight up patient care. So I do enjoy the medical coding, the revenue cycle bit. I do enjoy it. And right now studying for another certification within the medical field. And girl, the sky is the limit. The sky is the limit. The sky is the limit. We just need to take all limitations off us, and once we find something that we're comfortable with, we're good at, we just take it by the horn and we just run with it. Just run with it.
I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. And then I love, well, it sounds like you've taken great control of your career, but I do want to break it apart a little bit more for some individuals that may not be so familiar with the medical field. One, I noticed you said you started as a medical assistant. So given I know I've actually hired in the medical field, so I know all these different roles, but is a medical assistant like an assistant to a doctor or a front desk associate? Tell me, what is a medical assistant?
Well, it has so many different components. That's the truth. You can start at the front desk, and then you can also do the triage with the patients and all that. You do the injections and all that stuff. Once you're in there, you do it, but then you kind of be like, okay, this is okay, but is this really me? I'm not sure. Just let me dive deep into, and see what my options are. Plus, when you do go to school, you have all these other areas. So once you have like your director, you tell your director what you're honest with yourself, your likes, your dislikes, what you're willing to do, what you're willing to try. Once you try and you realize that's not how you want to go, possibly you want to stay in it, but I'm not sure. So you give yourself a chance to test the waters in the medical field, as it were, because you can start as an MA. You can end up being a physician's assistant or even a doctor. It's up to you and where you want to go, and always understand that the sky is the limit. You can even become an office manager, you know
Okay.
take the steps, the adequate steps that you need to go where you want to go. But once you start, say, I'm going to give this is what I want to do, you go back and you can, who knows? I might just go back and get my bachelor's and be office manager. I think that's truly what I want to do.
You want to be an office manager? Okay, okay, I love it. So I do have a question. When did you start your career as a medical assistant at the beginning?
2000. When was the pandemic?
2020.
2020.
Okay.
2020.
All right. You
I
moved
started in
right.
2020.
Okay. I like
Time flew by so quickly.
okay. And then the medical assisting, I understand that there's medical assisting and also there's being certified as a medical assistant. But I think
Yes,
when going
you have to. I went to a trade school, and that's the only way you can start to have your certification. You can go to college, and you can do it like that, but you have to be certified. You have to take those exams, and you have to. I enjoyed. I'm a look. My mom is a bookworm, and I think I'm just a bigger bookworm. I'm always ready. Like, she's always calling me, "Oh, Tony, when are you studying again? Oh, Tony," and I'm like, "Just finish this one. Give me a moment, please." But she she just gave me that discipline to always want to know more, always want to take yourself a step higher than where you are. And I really do think that that's a crucial part of us growing.
you
Never staying stagnant, always growing, always learning, always willing to learn, and always be willing to be taught. Because there's some people who want to get there, but they don't want to take the steps to get there, and then you find yourself in a stumbling block. But you always have to open your mind to learn something new, to grow to the next level. And even if you fail at the first try, just get back up and just dust it off. And I have this mantra: if I'm doing something and I'm paying for it, I refuse to fail. I refuse to
I
fail.
know that's right. I know that's
I
right.
refuse to fail. So let's go. Let's get it. If we have to stretch ourselves to the limit, that extra hour of studying, that extra whatever, just to getting there, if you need to, however you need to structure yourself in order to get to that end goal, just do it.
Okay. Okay.
Just do it.
Was there a role that you had in between the medical assistant role to the medical coding role?
Yes, actually, I used to work at a restaurant, and I was a manager at a restaurant.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is you I don't someone I know said that, they don't like the word grind, but honestly that's what you were doing, grinding in every different
Just grinding. Yes.
um and then this is another question I had too. So you said in order to even get into the medical field of like being a medical assistant to one, let me stop and pause and say I believe the route that you've taken is a great option to get inside of the medical field just to see what's going on, what it looks like, what floats your boat. You were able to do the patient side, with
Yes, yes, yes,
doing
yes.
blood draws, everything.
Work the front desk, deal with the patient, see what it is you like.
Yeah,
If you like engaging people,
yes,
however you want to do it, just know as much as you can about all that you can.
about everything. And I definitely think that's a great space to starting to get a full in
Mhm.
scoop. But you also you said a lot of great things, like say for instance, you had conversations with your leadership team to let them know exactly where you're wanting to go.
Where that's right.
How did
That's
those
right.
conversations go?
For me, sometimes I thought that, sometimes when you think within yourself that you feel like you were late in the game and you missed all the early parties, so you think you had to grind to get to somewhere quickly. But sometimes we need to understand that God has us where He wants us to be at the appointed time. So once you wrestle with yourself, and you try not to beat your head against the wall, but look for a mentor. It is always important to have someone in your life. If you don't have that person, it's best to seek that person out. Sometimes, as women, we don't want to talk. We don't want to say exactly what's on our heart, where we want, and how we want to get there. But sometimes we're stifling our own growth. Closed mouths don't get fed. Once you discern and know that there's someone that you can trust, who you can open up to, and you let them know where you are, what you want, and where you want to go. Trust me, God will open up that door and you will find that mentor. Having a mentor, someone who would say, okay, this is where you are, this is where you want to go, it is achievable. There, nothing is impossible. Let's go get it. But you have to, within yourself, prepare yourself for the journey. It's not going to be easy. As I said, studying is studying is studying. Some people have different ways and strategies of studying. And sometimes you will say, well, we're too old going back to school and studying. It's a mindset. You cannot tell yourselves those things because you failed even before you start. We always look at our age and go like, okay, I'm over 40, over 35 or whatever, and oh, my old brain, my old this, my old that. No, 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 no. You is older than the world. You know that that your capacity to things done, you have to do it.
But then what also, with having more experience behind your belt, you're actually more prepared compared to others who may be younger. I think it's a way of thinking. It's a mindset because you think you're older. You've made it over 35. That the 25-year-old has the one up. But honestly, no. I've seen it to where individuals who have a lot more experience, I mean, far surpass because they have the drive, because of a little bit of that insecurity makes them push even more to get what they want. And so, my question I have too is, did you get any pushback from your management with being transparent about where you wanted to go with your career?
I don't think I, no, I don't think I did. I don't think I did.
And that's a great
I
thing.
don't think I did. I can't remember because when people see that you're eager and you show who you are and you're honest with who you are, yes, you will make mistakes. Yes, you will blunder. But when people see that you have that earnest to keep going and to ask questions,
What kind of questions?
where did I go wrong? Is there a way that I can fix something? How can I apply this? I don't understand this concept. Can you explain it to me? But I believe in anything from I believe once you are respectful, how you choose to approach a situation, it determines how you get a response. If you okay, you may have a boss or a manager who you think is harsh or negative or whatever you think they are. And you choose to be as humble as you are and just explain yourself. Yes, there's some days we're not in a good mood. We just dealt with something else is going on in your mind or whatever. And sometimes unfortunately this up here, we tell ourselves some cruel things about ourselves and we're always ready to think negative. We're always ready to start with a combative, but that's not the way to go. That's not the temperament we need up here. So up here, most oftentimes we ruin our destiny based on the thoughts that we allow to happen up here without understanding that a conversation is a two-way conversation and you can either kill or inspire with the conversation. Yes, yes, they might just come from a really, just came into work, had traffic on the road or whatever, something going on at home or whatever, and they approach you and you think, well, she was being this, she was being that. Probably no, she was just bench pressing off of what she just been through and it has nothing to do with you. But because we always think that is us, we ready to pull out the gloves and we don't need to.
And I believe a lot of times, in what you're sharing, it's all about knowing your leader and your leader knowing you. Once that
Yeah.
relationship is built and you know their ebbs and flows, when they have to have that coffee, that cup of coffee in the morning.
Yep.
you know it,
Yep.
and the best time to reach out to them is right after that cup of coffee. Well, you play on those different things to be able to have those conversations. And the reason why I asked that question is because a lot of times people will not share and be transparent with their leaders about where they're wanting to go. They will apply for the job internally, not knowing that the system is already set up to where the application goes to their manager, and
Mm-hmm.
then the manager, their supervisor, gives the approval or the sign off for them to be able to be transferred. But a lot of times people will go around their leader not having that upfront conversation, when honestly your leader is there to help you,
Help you and to guide you.
develop you. And one thing that you said was asking questions. Something similar. I was speaking to another HR leader. She was explaining about her journey and how she gotten to the role of a director over sales. And she kept applying for this particular role. She kept applying, and she went to her leader to let them know that she was applying, but never did she ask, what is it that I need to work on?
Right.
What is it that I need to do to prepare myself for this role? And when you're able to be transparent with your leaders and hear where they're coming from, because your
Correct.
leader is coming from a bigger perspective, not just,
Exactly.
and it's so beyond your individuality, but the business needs. And that's something that is so important when it comes to the business aspect, is taking away the emotional aspect of it and thinking from
Mm-hmm.
a business mindset, that your leader is thinking from a leadership perspective and not attacking you, the individual. But yeah, one thing that she got from that conversation is that she needs to do better with her people interactions. If you can do better with your
Right.
people interactions, then yes, you would be more accepted as a director in sales.
Of
'Cause,
course.
you're directing people. You need to be better at that. So, but yeah, having that conversation with leadership is very, it's a very vital thing to do to make sure to help with moving your career forward. So tell me, what um what are the most challenging things that you face now in your current role with medical coding? And I think for individuals, also share what medical coding. You said you moved from the front desk and doing blood draws and patient care. Now you're in the back of house managing healthcare. What is medical coding?
Okay, being in revenue cycle, what it's like, that's like the billing department, really. That's the billing department. Um, for me, I do enjoy that aspect. I really, really do. What are the challenges I may have? I don't think no.
Now,
Challenges,
keep in mind,
challenges.
everyone, we are talking about the expert here. I mean, she is one that is very diligent when it comes to finding out what the code is that the doctors need.
Yeah, you have to be diligent about finding that code, and
People go to
and
her for
sometimes I think
advice.
sometimes it could be difficult when you have to interpret certain things. And when you're dealing with scope of providers, it's always how you approach a situation, how you ask for help. I would ask my boss if I'm having difficulty with finding something. She will I have a boss who is always ready to help. And I think as a boss, that is always number one, two, three. And I love her. She is always ready to help. She's like, "Oh, Tony, how can I help? Tony, how can I help?" I'd be like, "Hey, how are you? How can I help?" So that, if you're dealing with case that is kind of getting kind of difficult for you to code, and I will go to her, and already she's already allowed me to know I got this. Even if I'm like, oh my god, this is because you're dealing with denials, you're dealing with all different kinds of stuff. So it's how you, and if you have a team, we have a team, and we can always share what we're going through with the entire team, and someone on the team is always ready to go like, okay, I'll help you with this, or how can I assist you with this? So we have an open team where everyone is always willing to share. And that's the platform that our boss sets for us. So it's not like one person is better than the other or whatever. We're all there to help. And I know that is very inspiring, and that allows everyone to know that we're just here to get the job done and get the job done well.
Okay, because that was going to be another question too that I was going to ask is if there's any office politics, anyone you having to jump over another just to get one thing done or to
No,
outshine anyone. But it sounds like you have a really
no,
great team where you guys
no.
cohesive, you guys help each other a lot.
And you have to. And it's all about, you have to read. There's the certification company that we go through is called AAPC. So they send out like monthly journals that would help you with any issues you may have. And as a coder, it's always best to read, because in the medical field, things change consistently. Things change every day. So you always have to be ready to learn and to read and read, brush up on seminars. There's always a webinar happening every month. There are certain insurance companies that have webinars monthly. So you always have to, it's what you want to do, always be willing to learn and to read and to understand and find time to break things down so you can always try to be better at what you're doing, because things change every day. Codes change every year. So you always have to try your best to be on top of what you're doing.
And so I do have another question.
Sure. I hope I'm being helpful.
You're giving so much. You know, what I'm hearing from you is that you're a student and you're about developing yourself to make sure that you're prepared for your next thing and being a great asset. Because again, everyone, she still hasn't shared how awesome she is on her team and how she's the go-to person. We've had these conversations one-on-one, how they come to her for advice and everything. So she's definitely the one to talk to. But I have a question. I know with business, how do I say this? Companies nowadays, they create spaces for you to bring your whole self to work so that you can feel that you are being fulfilled. And one thing that makes us feel fulfilled as individuals is that we're giving back or we feel that we're making a difference. My question is with your role that you have now, do you feel in a way that you are making a difference? Is it filling your tank of the need to make a difference, or does your company as a whole offer that space for you to do that? How do you feel that space?
I think in time I'll get there, but I'm still on my way to getting there.
Okay. 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 I really like that. I really like that a lot. I do have another question. You're a student. You're a forever student. What are some book recommendations that you would advise for individuals to consider on their journey and working in the workplace to level up?
There's a whole lot of, especially within the medical coding, there are a lot of societies and schools that offer programs depend on where you live. And there's AAPC, they're the certification board for the United States. You can plug into them. And then, as I said, there's some other schools that have their own programs. But it all depends on your personal growth and how far you want to go. Like I say, you can start out being a medical assistant, then you could become a certified coder, then you can go on to nursing.
So this is another question I have. No, and this is where I was going to next. You said that a goal of yours is to become an office manager in the healthcare field. Do you have a time frame for this particular goal?
No, no.
I figured you was going to say that. And the reason why I pulled that up is because um how do I say this? Different generations, they expect things to happen very quickly. Within 6 months, they expect after working as a medical assistant, okay, I've been here for 6 months.
Wow.
Now I believe I can run the office. So I'm going to apply for the office, assistant manager role.
It can happen like that, it can, but it all depends. It can. Let's say, like, okay, but for me, I have a background in being a manager, so that would count. It all sometimes depends on what your background is, what your experience is, and the willingness to learn.
How long were you in management? What industry were you in managing?
My background is in entertainment and restaurant managing. It's all about being a good leader and being someone who is always willing to departmentalize your time and learning as you go. You do have to be qualified, but it depends on, as you say, how fast you want to get that degree, how fast you want to fast track your learning to get there. But I'm not going to put a timeline on it. But as I said, it always depends on your experience.
And I still love your answer because it says that you are looking forward towards the journey
Hmm.
of getting there. A lot of times it's not the destination, but it is the journey of
The
getting
journey.
there because not a lot of people will be able to say that they were in the back of house of doing medical coding on their journey to becoming an office manager. And so I definitely like to highlight that for individuals that I coach individually on the side and also for group classes that we have as well. And
Okay.
so I think that is all that we have for today. Oh, I got one more thing. And
Sure.
I'm gonna give you time to think about it. Okay, so what is guys, just so that you know, me and Tony know each other because we both love to sing.
Hmm.
So, what is your song for this season that illustrates the season that you're in now for your career? And it's fine. Take your time. Take your time.
That's a good question.
Yes. Or even your walk-in song. Tony has arrived and this is my song and this is what you hear when Tony walks in right now.
Oh my goodness. Hold on. Hold on.
It's fine. Take
Hold
your
on.
time.
T, hold on. I would say it's turning around for me.
Okay. All right. Turning Around for Me by Bashan Mitchell. All right. I love it. Why you chose that song?
Because of what it says, it's not going to always be like this. It's going to turn around, it's going to get better. And even words matter, words matter, words matter. And it speaks to who you are. God promised to perfect what concerneth us. And the more we keep going at it, the more we keep trusting, the more it's going to turn around. And even if we can't see it turning around, it is turning and it has already turned. It's just reminding yourself that we are in charge of what we think and what we say and how we believe and where we want to go.
Yeah.
And know that as long as we've got breath in our body, where we are today, we just don't have to be there tomorrow.
Yes. Yes, I love it. I love it. And just to recap, even everything that you said for today in our session, on that you make sure to focus on education and getting the certification, doing the next thing to make sure that you are qualified for the role. Therefore,
Sure.
there is no reason to be denied of a thing. Find joy in the journey and getting to your
Mm-hmm.
destination and not just landing the job, that you are transparent with your leadership and where you're trying to get to. And most important, that you are working on your mind. You have an open mind to be able to hear constructive criticism in order to be able to move forward and to even be able to make the ask. Because sometimes individuals don't even get to the table to make the ask or even speak up for themselves. And so we've
Mm-hmm.
learned a lot from you today, Tony. Thank you so much for the
My
wealth of
pleasure.
knowledge and your time today. And so,
Sure.
guys, thank you so much. Until next time we have our show, we'll see you on the 4th Thursday evening at 6 o'clock. All right, bye.
Hey, bye.